What is up, everybody? I am the Crypto Bull God. Today I'm coming to you live. And the purpose of today's live stream is, I cut the live stream yesterday short, and there were some TA questions on some projects. So I wrote them down here. I'm going to chart those out for everybody tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment, hit the bell icon for notifications. I'll also take a few more charting questions. I realized I don't have my phone on me. So I need to grab my phone. So I will be right back. So with this wonky setup that I have right now, I'm not in my home office. I need to make sure that I can see everyone's messages, so I use that with my phone. But for everyone new tuning in, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. The purpose, again, once again, just to kind of restart things. This is what happens when I have more time on my hands. I'm able to put up more content. I'm going to be releasing another technical analysis later today. I'm going to be releasing another technical analysis video later today. It's going to be on Bitcoin. I had tweeted it out, Crypto Bull God here. And I'm doing a bonus live stream for the purposes of not being able to get to your technical analysis questions yesterday and a few projects I had written down. And nothing should signal more to you than I value your viewership and I value your support than me not just putting it out there to get back to me. I put the onus actually on you guys to tweet at me and get back to me, but I said, you know what? I got time. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to chart out the projects that people were asking me about. So let's get into it. The first project people had questions on, someone had a question about, was Cardano, ticker symbol ADA. This is ADA on the weekly. Not much has changed here. You can see I had a blue line of resistance that we broke above. But the main thing that you want to keep in mind with Cardano, again, this is on a weekly. Look at this resistance. Okay, it's a big deal that this broke here, and now we're forming support on this line at about 34 cents. Okay, that's a big deal because the descending resistance that you're seeing on this view here, this is consistent with so many other charts. And one of the first keys to a turnaround and a bullish narrative beyond getting higher highs and higher lows, well, it's clearing this descending resistance. This is a major descending resistance we've had since August of 2021. So, it's been a year and a half of downward resistance on Cardano. So very, very good to see. Now, right now, what are we facing? We're facing a major area of resistance around 40 to 41 cents. Okay, so we need to clear 40 to 41 cents. Now, I don't have another area of resistance until 85 cents, but I find that hard to believe. There's definitely more price confluence that we can put in here. So the first area that we need to clear for Cardano would be 40 to 41 cents. The next area would be right around, to me, it looks like 60 cents. We're going to call it 60 cents. So here's what you want to keep an eye on, and we'll take a look at the price indicators, some moving averages as well. Here's what you want to keep an eye on for Cardano. The basic building blocks of a bullish narrative, as I always say: low, high, right? High or low. Now we want to come in with another higher high, right? And our first test is to get past the 40 to 41 cent area and hit 60 cents. So you can see major areas of resistance I have: 60 cents, 85 cents, 99 cents, 139, and 570. But for the past couple weeks, guys, if you're in Cardano, okay, it's just been chippy choppy, consolidating. For me personally, because I think altcoins are going to pick up steam, it's just waiting for the next leg to move up towards 60 cents. Let's take a look at the moving averages here. I think we can get a 50 and 200. Yeah, so we got a death cross. We're starting to see this on a lot of projects that have been around for a while, but I don't put a lot of credence on that, given my broader view on the market and where we're at from a cyclical standpoint, from an Elliott wave structure. perspective, let's look at the price indicators. You can see I was pointing out some bullish divergence. Was this bullish divergence? Must have been on a different time frame. Bullish divergence on a different time frame, definitely not on a weekly, but let's take a look at the RSI and MACD in particular. RSI is at relatively neutral at about 48. It looks like the MACD wants to curl up. Okay, we're starting to get momentum. The trigger line 0 is where we want to get above. So the price indicators are neutral to sort of picking up steam, but price indicators king. So just keep in mind what I said regarding the price action. I hope that was helpful. Brendan, what's up, brother? 2 live streams in a row. All right, so that was Cardano. That was the first question I had. Brendan, feel free to chime in if you have any charting questions, brother. I'll be here for maybe, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. We'll see how the stream goes. And then I'm going to be signing off to make a delicious dinner. I'm going to be making some barramundi. I marinated some barramundi. I'm going to saute some Brussels sprouts, onions, and I'm going to put some smoked Gouda cheese in there. It's going to be fucking fantastic. So I gotta tend to that in a minute here. So a couple minutes. So make sure you get some charting questions in. Next one is Phantom, ticker symbol FTM. Do I have LCX either? Okay, so this is awesome. So I'm going to chart, looks like I'm going to chart this for what may be the first time with you guys. Now, this is a blank chart that I typically pull up for live streams, and I will chart things out. So there is a chance that I have charted Phantom before, but okay, this one's picking up momentum. Let's see if is there another... see, more price action. Oh, perfect. So this is Phantom on the weekly, and it's on the Binance exchange. Great, getting some more questions in here. I'll get to your questions in a moment here. Again, just want to reiterate, thumbs up for the support. Comment on TA questions specifically. The bonus live stream is designed at answering the prior questions as well as charting anything out you guys would like me to chart out. Again, this is Phantom on the weekly. I like that we have a decent amount of price data here since back in 2019. I'm going to keep this on a higher time frame. I'm not going to start to get into more of a granular view. So far, what do I like to see here? Well, we've basically, I mean, again, we just touched on this with Cardano. Look at this. You tell me what you see here, okay? I mean, essentially, you can draw this a couple different ways, but look, descending resistance, right? And we've since broken out above. Very, very bullish. So this is sort of like a step one that I want to see in a chart like this. We need to clear out of that descending resistance, which we've done. We can check that off the list. Now, let's see what else is going on here. We have a low. We have a high. And for the time being, we have a higher low, which is bullish. Again, we could come all the way down to here. I don't really give a shit because this is still a lower high. We're looking for our higher high to come in. That's what we're looking for, okay? So let's take a look. Actually, before I start drawing out areas of price confluence, let's take a look at our moving out. Oh, look at the MACD. MACD is not only positive, but it is above 0. It's above the 0 trigger line, which is great to see. RSI looked like it was starting to get a little overheated. So on the RSI, guys, when I start to talk about an RSI that is starting to get a little overheated, typically once we start crossing 70, watch out. Okay, here we got to 65, so we were hot but not overextended. Right now we're at a really healthy level. The RSI is at 59, 58.6, right? Very healthy level. And I love to see that MACD above 0, all right? Now, let's take a look at areas of price confluence. Well, the very first thing that I want to share with you guys, we need to hold this low here. Now, I believe the entire market has bottomed, so I'm sure we will hold this low, but there's a probability for everything. We don't need to hold that low. So that is at 16.43 cents, okay? Don't want to go below there. And again, red is for resistance, green is for support. This is support. Now, the first area of resistance we obviously need to take out is our prior bounce high. That was at 65. We're going to make it 65 point. We'll be exact. It's like my daily job. You got to be exact with the numbers. We round to the nearest 1/1,000,000th of a decimal. That's why I like to interject humor with things. I find the humor in what I do. So, all right. So we need to clear, first off, this 65.55 cents to put in a higher high here. Okay. Other areas of price confluence. By the way, I gotta tell you guys, I one of the things I really appreciate is when you guys bring charts to me and ask me to chart it out. And in particular, I appreciate the questions you come to me with that have a chart that looks something like this. This is a beautiful chart. This is a very beautiful chart. I really like the chart set up here. Do I have a position in Phantom? I do not. Um, do I think that the chart setup here is beautiful? I absolutely do. So I really appreciate the questions you guys bring me. We all whole goal here is to learn from one another. That really is the end game. So I'm sort of seeing a range. Here's what I'm seeing. Yeah, right around there. Yeah, that's good. Maybe draw this. I mean, I don't want to get too cute. I'd maybe put it there. I mean, you could argue, okay, $1.25, we'll make this 95 cents. We'll just round this, okay? So if you're holding Phantom, let's try that again. If you're holding Phantom, here's what I would watch for. Step one, let's clear essentially what is 66 cents. Okay, let's clear 66 cents. Once we clear 66 cents, to me, it looks like a pretty free ride, okay, to go around 50%. Close to, but quite not quite. Up to around 95 cents. Now, keep in mind, guys, once you start getting up to 95 cents, what are you getting closer to? You're getting close to what? The psychological level of a dollar. So even when we clear 95 cents, I would fully anticipate that $1 is going to be a psychological level that we still need to get past. Okay. So right around that 95 cents to $1 is the next area you want to watch for once we clear 66 cents. Then we're talking about $1.25. Once you clear $1.25, you know what? Come back to me with your questions on Phantom and we can reassess the price at that time. But really, three price targets: 66 cents, 95 to $1, and $1.25. I hope you found that helpful. But love the chart setup here. This one looks very bullish. I just based on the chart setup, with not being super, I'm somewhat familiar with the project, but not being super familiar with the project, I'm a little jelly that I'm not in this one, because this looks really beautiful. All right. I can see the questions coming in. Give me one moment. There's one more chart I noted from yesterday. Ticker symbol LCX. What is this one, actually? I don't know what this is. I'm not familiar with this. Looks like it's on Coinbase. Let's try to get as much exchange information as we can. LCX. Hmm. Wow. It's not a lot of price data on this one. Hmm. Not a lot of price data. Brendan, did you ask this question? I want to look this up. All right, so the question was on LCX. Interesting. What markets is it? What exchanges are offered here? So it's on Kraken and Coinbase. Hmm. Okay. What rank is this? 307. All right. So, you know what? I appreciate the question on this because um this looks interesting. This looks like we might have tried to chart this one before. So, Brendan, if this was your question, um and it looks like a few people are commenting here. Oh, someone has a question on Adam. I'll get to that. Oh, Brian, what's up, brother? Yeah, of course I'll answer your question on Adam. I'll take a look at it. So Brendan, thank you for the question on LCX. It looks like Danny agrees with you. Um, Danny from the blockchain. Nice. Really interesting setup here because what's happening, so a lot of the times, and I don't know if the ICO took place over here. Um, A lot of these projects, it feels like Coinbase gets in late, so I'd be surprised. I don't want to waste a lot of time here, but okay. Regardless, let's just look at the price data we have at hand here, which is very immature. Okay. Now, what we can see here, oh, this is very evident. Look, you see how we came up here and then we sort of rounded out and came back up. Look at this double top region right in here. No surprise that, there was some resistance, and we've definitely charted this before because I already have areas of resistance in here. Look at this. And this is something we would have charted out before this top here, guys. So let me just say this. I don't know. And again, I have a lot of smart followers, subscribers on here. Okay. I don't know who pointed this chart out before, but I'd be willing to bet if you go through my live streams, we were somewhere down here. Okay. And maybe we even saw this candlestick. Look at what I charted out. Okay. This was not charted out recently. I can tell you that much because I don't remember this ticker symbol. I put an area of resistance here and an area of resistance here. Look what happened. We came up. We broke through this area of resistance at about 7.5 cents. We back tested it and continued to move up. We then back tested. It looks like we back tested a round figure of 9.5 cents, and I had an area of resistance at 9 cents, right? And this is a great example. I'm glad that I'm looking at this chart because this is a great example of, especially for volatile assets, one of the things you guys will learn the more well-versed you get in reading charts, you can't get too cute with the numbers. You have to interject some degree of variability from areas of price confluence that you have charted out. And some of that is based on risk tolerance level, and some of that should also be based on the volatility of the asset itself. So in this case, let me give you an example. Let's say that I was not in LCX and it broke right through 9 cents, right? Well, maybe I want to set an order. I'm like, well, it's real volatile. Maybe it doesn't hit exactly 9 cents. Maybe it's 9.1 or 9.2 or 9.3, 9.5, 6, 7, 8, right? There's some degree of variability from these areas of price confluence. They're not designed to be perfect in dollar value, right? So keep that in mind. But now the beautiful thing with this chart is that we can turn these prior areas of red resistance into green support. Right now, we're struggling with this area. This is the area we're struggling with. Okay? It's a zone. It's a zone. Let's see. The high here is 18 point. We're going to call it 18.5, right? So 0.185. So really what I'm trying to communicate to you right now is that there's a zone of resistance essentially between 15 to 18.5 cents that we have to break through. But this has been a hell of a run so far. We ran up from 3 cents all the way to over 15 cents. We pulled more than a 5x. If you were in this thing at 3 cents, fucking bravo to you because you just pulled a 5x, all right? And the other thing to keep in mind with this chart, really beautiful chart, and I can tell you this much, I can see it's trading on Coinbase. And the only U.S. exchanges that I use for the most part, I use a little bit of Gemini, but just based on asset availability. But the two primary exchanges I use are Coinbase and Binance US in the U.S. The exchange I prefer is Binance US. But not all assets are listed between two exchanges, so you kind of have to use both. You can see, you can draw this several ways, but essentially one of the most beautiful things here is, again, downward resistance. This has been a theme the entire live stream, all the assets we have looked at. We broke the downward resistance, and now we're in this zone. So really, guys, what you want to look for on LCX, we want to break this 15 to 18.5 cent price target. Now, what happens when it actually breaks 18.5 cents? One of two possibilities. We could shoot straight up and never backtest 18.5 cents. I find that less likely. What's more likely is once we break it, we come up and we backtest this entire zone between 15 to 18.5 cents. Okay? So if you miss the move up, your best bet is to never chase green candles. Never do that, especially in a volatile asset like this. Set your buy limit orders between 15 to 18.5 cents. Okay? Now, once we break 18.5 cents, here's the beautiful thing. There's two major areas of price confluence I would personally look for. And they would be right around 32.5 cents. And then the all-time high, which it looks like it's right at 68 cents. One of the beautiful things about this chart is once we start to break 18.5 cents with volume, 32.5 cents will come quickly, followed by a more than doubling at 68 cents. And why do I say that? Well, look to the left. Not a lot of price confluence, right? So that's one of the beautiful things about a chart with immature data like this is because you don't have a lot of price confluence off to the left. So once we start to break prior areas of resistance, there's less holding us down. There's more room for a blue sky breakout. So something to keep in mind moving forward on this chart. Awesome, awesome, awesome chart. Thank you for sharing that. Bravo to you, Brendan. And it looks like we have one more question, unless a few more come in. There was a question, I believe, on Adam. Yes, this is something that I've charted out in the past. I have not charted it out in a long time, so we can quickly take a look at it. Let's see. This is Adam on the weekly. Let's see how we look. Okay. So now my recollection on this project was that this was one of the early runners, right? So while the rest of the market was sort of stagnant, we were looking at it when it sort of broke out. My recollection is we were looking at it back here when it had first broken out, right? And since then, it sort of has just been stagnating. What do you guys think the price action is doing right now? Let's get off the price indicators and just focus on price action because that's king. What do you think the price action is doing right now? Right? It's sort of boring. You're looking at this and you're thinking, wow, I'm a holder of Atom and I see all these other like crypto AI projects running. Like, what's the deal with this? Well, this is where this is a deciding point that will determine whether you're an investor or someone that doesn't know what they're doing. Okay? A person that doesn't know what they're doing will get out of this project right now. An investor will view this as an opportunity to either accumulate more or be very confident with the asset they're holding. Why do I say that? Low, high, higher, low. We are literally doing this. We're chipping and chopping. What do you think the word is that I'm about to say? Consolidation. We're literally just consolidating, okay? We are waiting to get out of this $13 or $14 range and entertain levels up to $17. Once we clear $17, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for roughly a 20% move towards 21 the way I have this drawn out. I have a major area around 21 and 17, okay? So what I would focus on if you're holding this asset is if you're an investor, I would remind yourself, why are you invested? And make sure that you still have conviction if nothing materially has changed. If nothing materially has changed, when you look at this chart, chippy choppy consolidation, that's all. It's just giving you an opportunity. Again, nothing is guaranteed in the charts, but more than likely, all this is doing is giving you an opportunity to get in at 13 before it starts heading up towards 17 and 21. Could we do this? Let me just be clear about this. There's a probability for everything, all right? Could we do this? Could we fall down to here and again back test descending what was once resistance and is now support? Could we do this and fall all the way to 10 bucks? Absolutely, we could fall to $10, okay? And we would still have a low and a higher low, and we'd still wait for that higher high to come in. I'm not telling you that Atom can't fall to $10 or $11. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is right now, the chart to me as an investor, if I were in this thing, it's presenting you an opportunity to get in at these levels before, more than likely, but not guaranteed, it starts heading up towards $17 and $21. That's what I see with Atom. Any other questions on the charts? I can take like one or two more questions, and then I'm probably going to head out. And if there aren't any more, I can try to think if there's one more, maybe like one more chart I wanted to show you guys. It looks like UMA's coming off its pump. It was up like 25% today. It was up towards like 280, and let's take a look at that one while waiting to see if there's any more questions. This is one that I'm expecting to do a move very similar to Band Protocol. The move that we saw today was definitely not enough for me to get out of my swing position. You can see we hit exactly $3. We hit the psychological level of $3. Okay. Now I just disclosed to you guys, full transparency. I have a swing position on this, a decent sized swing position. My zone for selling, even though I have the blue box all in here, I think we could ultimately hit all the way up in anywhere in this zone before having a sizable correction. I'm targeting more of this 450 to 545 level. I might have a little towards $6 because one of the things I was explaining to you about a lot of these projects is if you actually look at the fib retracement level from cycle top to bottom, a lot of these projects, if you look at Alchemy Finance is a great example. I'm going to do a separate video on that one. If you take a look at where I've sort of projected a lot of these bounces at, it's not a guess on my part. There's logic and reasoning behind it. It's the 0.382 fib retracement level. A lot of these projects, what we've seen is once they've bottomed out, we've seen a massive move up to around the 0.382 and then a drop and a consolidation. And again, we have higher lows. And all we're waiting for now is something up closer to the 0.618 or 0.702 or 0.786, right? So we're just sort of moving our way up. When you guys have to recognize when you have a huge fall in price, like in UMA from $46 down to $1.46, it's going to take a long time. And so we can actually see price recover, right? But don't lose sight of the fact also that these markets tend to move very fast. So UMA going from $2 to $5.40 and maybe settling the $3.30 area, that could literally happen in the span of 3 days. Okay, so just something to keep an eye on. Looks like we have one more question. All right, so okay, this is an asset that I do hold. Not as a swing trade play. I actually hold. I hold a little bit. I don't hold too much, but I hold a little bit. This is Casper, and this question is coming in from Brendan. So we will take a look at this one. Now, what am I showing with the green arrows here? Well, the last time, guys, we had charted this out, we were, because we looked at this on a live stream. If you guys have been here for a little bit, you know that. We looked at it somewhere in here. So you can see what I'm attempting to draw out here is not what I'm telling you from a specific price standpoint and timing perspective, what we'll see. What I'm aiming to connect with you on is the general direction of price, right? So what I'm saying is whether the price hits 7 cents in February or March or April or May, or maybe it hits 10 cents or 12 cents, the idea here is higher highs and higher lows, okay? This is the general direction for price that we want to see. Now, one of the nice things, since we've charted this, we can turn this red area of resistance into support. So on Casper, what would I be looking for? There's a major area of resistance between 5.6 cents and 4.8 cents. We need to clear the 5.6 cent area, and it looks like we just about touched it here at 5.4 cents. Once we clear the 5.4 to 5.6, guess what we're doing? We're creating another higher high relative to this high back here, okay? Those are those basic building blocks to a bullish narrative and ultimately what will take us to higher levels. So again, from a price perspective, we're looking to clear well, there's a resistance here of 4.8 cents. So really the 4.8 cent area to the 5.6, but really 5.6 is the key area. Once we clear 5.6, we want to start working our way up, it looks like, to 7.5 cents and then 10 to 11 cents. Now, one of the things I don't like to see on this chart, and again, volatile assets do present a higher degree of volatility, and the results are a little bit more skewed in terms of what you can discern from them. But and again, this is on a weekly, one of the things I don't like to see are all these price wicks. Because one of the things that's really important to you guys when I'm trying to communicate these results to you and you're watching other analysts, you need to decipher for yourself at some point once you watch enough of these TA videos, some of the things you can educate yourself on and learn from reading a chart, right? One of the most basic things in reading a chart is when you see wicks up like this, that is seller exhaustion. That's not good to see. When you see long wicks down like this, that's buyer demand coming in and eating up the price, okay? And it's bullish. This up here is bearish. I don't like to see all these price wicks. In fact, this weekly candle here is a really bearish candle, okay? But again, with a lot of these volatile assets, when you go back in time, they're not as bearish as they typically are with assets that have a lot more credibility and market capitalization behind them. So I don't really know how much we can really discern from this. But the bottom line is there's seller exhaustion coming up here. There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance between 4.8 and 5.6 cents. We need to get above that area. That's what I see. Real quick, price indicators. MACD looks very nice. Look at the histogram picking up. Now we're just about above the zero trigger line. Very good to see. The RSI is extremely healthy. We're at about 53. That's very good to see too. So as long as the market remains relatively stable, I would say it doesn't even need to be massively bullish. As long as the entire market, meaning Bitcoin mainly and Ethereum, as long as they are relatively stable, based on these price indicators and based on where price data is settling up, I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible that very soon, shortly in relative terms, in the next couple weeks, we could start to smash up towards 4.8, 5.6 cents. At which point, every time we start to hit an area of resistance, the more we keep hitting it, it does not express strength. It actually becomes weaker. So there's a higher likelihood every time we come up here that eventually we're going to break out. So that is my view on Casper. I'll have to check that out, Danny. My voice sounds like Bill from Abra, huh? Yeah, I know Bill. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to listen to his voice again. I was not aware that I sounded like him. That's very intriguing. All right, looks like we have one more question. And this question is coming from Ricky Dos Santos. All right. Could you take a look at that, VeChain? Last time you did, kind of like the setup. It just moved abruptly. Oh wow, really? It just moved abruptly. I was not aware. Let's take a look. Let's get out of this chart. Let's get out of this chart. Too many charts. Somebody was telling me I had too many tabs open the other day. By the way, guys, for those that are in Alchemy Pay, you see it's down 13.4% today. Now I'm going to put out a video on Alchemy Pay separately. Again, when you have as sharp a rise going from a penny up to 5 cents, not surprising to see this at all. One of the things my video is going to touch on are just key levels that you're going to want to watch for if you're going to want to accumulate more of Alchemy, such as myself. I'm actually looking to accumulate more. So the chart setups I'm sharing with you are ones I'm personally actually looking at for myself, which is quite common, but not uncommon whatsoever to see this thing down 13% when it's done like a 5x, 4 to 5x. All right. So if you were in that, you're doing pretty well for yourself. Let's take a look at VeChain. And I know I've looked at this one before, and Ricky is bringing up a memorable comment from myself, which was that I did say that the chart setup looked good. Oh, wow, look at this. Now, this is VeChain on the monthly. These are on the Heikin Ashi candles. The Heikin Ashi candles are just another. If you guys have been here for a while, you know I've shown the Heikin Ashi candles a lot. Heikin Ashi candles, what they typically do based on the color of the candlestick is indicate trend reversals. So you can see we've turned from red to green, which is really good to see. The other thing we have, guys, come on, you know this pattern, right? Wide gets narrow. This is a falling wedge, okay? And the way you measure it from a technical perspective, you measure it from the wide top there to the bottom. And then from the point of breakout, you put that point and it puts you wherever. But not as concerned with that. More concerned with the overall health of the chart. Falling wedge looks like you can see this is causing us a great extent of resistance along here. Okay. So we need to break out of this descending resistance. And again, this is on a monthly chart. Now, to Ricky's point, this to me is a very beautiful looking chart. I really like the chart setup on this. And keep in mind, we're on a monthly view here. Check out the MACD. Anytime you have more price data like this, the higher time frames when you zoom out, you're getting a lot more credible of a picture in terms of what you're looking at versus looking at like a 4-hour chart, okay? Let's get off this stochastic RSI. Let's just look at the MACD. Look at this MACD. Again, RSI is healthy. Again, this is on a monthly. Beautiful. This MACD is beginning to bottom out. Seller exhaustion is coming in. You can see the histogram is going declining in red. I would expect some green to come in. This thing looks like it wants to curl up, and as long as we can continue to stabilize and continue to move up with VeChain, I would expect a MACD on the monthly within the coming couple months, which would be very bullish, okay? But let's zoom out a little. Let's go to a regular candlestick formation, and let's go to a weekly chart, okay? We have enough price data. We don't need to go back before a weekly view. And let's get off the Heikin Ashi, and let's look at some traditional candlesticks, okay? And let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this. And so the purpose now is beyond the price indicators looking very bullish, okay? Again, RSI on the weekly, we're at 60. We're just about at 60. Very, I would call that neutral to bullish. I would call that more bullish, actually. And the MACD is starting to get up. You look at this momentum in the histogram, okay? The momentum in the histogram, and we're getting real close to that zero trigger line. Now, if we go to a daily, it's sharp abruptly, I was told, moved up. Let's see. Okay, we're sitting at about 3 cents. Well, if we look at where we finished consolidating, and this is how quickly VeChain moves. And VeChain, I want to say it's in the top 30 or 40. So again, this is a project that is a little bit larger in market cap, and look how much it has moved up. When we closed on February 13th, the day before Love Day, day before Valentine's Day, we were at approximately 2.3 cents. We just moved up a matter of, we just moved up over 40% in a span of 7 days. In 1 week, we went up 41%. This is the thing that people forget when they get very salty and they allow their emotions to cloud their intellect. So let's take a look at some descending resistance to see if we're clearing that yet. This is again on a weekly. So first thing is first, we have some descending resistance there. And I like drawing multiple areas of descending resistance because my thought process is the more we begin to break out above certain areas of descending resistance, the more strength it is expressing in the chart, right? So you can draw multiple areas of descending resistance, but you can see this most immediate one here, 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 we broke out above, very bullish. Now, what we want to do is we want to break the other area of descending resistance up here, okay? And we'll make this one say red, okay? This is the one we ultimately are looking for next. But what is possible for VeChain at this point? We can see I have several areas of what are now support right here. Okay, so we want those areas of support to hold. We ultimately want the higher lows and higher highs to hold. Where could we expect to see some price confluence and resistance as we're working our way up, right? What's going to give us problems from increasing in price levels? Well, if we... Oh, this is an obvious area to me. That's about 44.4 cents. Okay, we're going to call it 44 cents, all right? 44.5 cents, 44 cents, whatever you want to call it, all right? Another area, clearly, right there. We're going to call 34 cents. It's, well, 33.8. We'll call 33.8. Okay, 33.8. Now, once we start to clear out this 33.8, 34 cent area, what are we doing now? Well, on the drop down, you see we got all these dead cat bounces, right? So once we start to clear 34 to say actually 36 cents, we're taking out all the dead cat bounces. After that level, okay, and sorry, it's not 33 and 36. It's 3.4 and 3.6 cents. So once we clear the 3.4 to 3.6 cents, we're taking out all these dead cat bounces, and now we're staring right at 4.4 cents. Okay, 4.4 to 4.5 cents. We need to take that area out. Once we take that out, whatever that is, we're going to face some descending resistance here. Again, a very common theme that I want to reiterate on this channel that I speak to all the time. Once we clear descending resistance, we very often come and backtest, okay? So if you miss your opportunity, a very logical place would be to set a buy limit order slightly above or at or below, based on your risk tolerance level, the descending area of resistance to be back tested. So those are the main areas I would look at. Beyond that, I'll draw out one area of resistance that kind of sticks out to me. It looks like, I mean, you could draw this a couple different ways. I'll actually draw a zone for you guys. There's another zone once we clear 4.4 cents, right between 6.5 and 7 cents. That's the next area that I would look for. So I hope that you found that helpful on VeChain. Very good looking chart. Very, very good looking chart on this one. Let's see what we got here. I went through Casper. I did VeChain. What's up, YC? Good to see you, brother. Gave it back a bit. I believe it broke resistance. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I'm going to put out, like I said, I'm going to put out a Digibyte update video once the price breaks above and holds above certain key areas that I'm looking at which point I'll plan to put up, an updated video as well as some price targets that I'm looking for because I'm sure everybody would be interested in hearing my thoughts on price targets. All right, we're going to do one more chart, and then I'm going to call it a day. And then I'm going to make that delicious dinner that I shared earlier with you. We're going to get that started. So XDC is the question coming in from Brendan. Appreciate the question. Appreciate the engagement. XDC is one that we've looked at before. XDC is one that I have a small position in. So, if you guys looked at my portfolio and you saw what I was actually invested in or had swing trades in, there's a few, I don't know how you guys do it. This is just what works for me. I have a few tokens where I have a substantial position, a handful, just a handful. I don't know if you would call me a whale. I don't know really what defines that. That's subjective. But we'll just say a substantial position. And then there's more than a handful. I have probably invested in more tokens than I need to be and probably need to condense my portfolio. I've shared this with you before. But then I have more than a handful that I either have a very small position in or a moderate position in, okay? XDC, I think I have a smaller position in. I thought my intentions were to get into a little bit bigger of a smaller position, but I think to my recollection, it's still a pretty small position. Let's take a look at where we're at with this one. Now, it's been a while since we've charted XDC, all right? And it looks like what I have drawn here, let's move this over. Yeah, and you could actually do this here too. There's really a zone. So I see what I'm going for here. I mean, it's just an area of resistance. You can do the same thing right about there. Okay. There's a clear zone we need to break above. And really, this was the bounce high. So, I mean, you could put in an area of resistance here, but I don't want to flood your computer screen with too many colors and make this look like a Christmas tree here. So, what's the first thing? I feel like literally every chart we've looked at, I've started off saying the same thing, right? And I started off looking at the first chart saying, yeah, you see this in a lot of charts. And now we've looked at about 6, 7 charts, and it's the same thing. Descending resistance, right? We broke out above it. That's literally the first thing you want to see. What that's communicating to you is that downward pressure on the price is declining. There is seller exhaustion. So the first thing this chart says to me is that there's seller exhaustion coming into the market. The price has stabilized, and we've created a low, a high, and a higher low. So that's the first thing that literally, when I look at this, if I had to share with you what goes through my mind at first, that's the first thing in terms of a snapshot of the price. And again, this is a weekly on XDC. So what are the next major areas of price confluence that I want to break out above? Well, it looks like I have this one drawn at about 3.3 cents. And again, let's take a look at the current price. XDC is sitting at 2.8 cents, okay? We need to break above 3.3 to 3.8 cents, okay? So 3.3 to 3.8 cents, this area right in here, this is going to cause us some problems. If we shoot above it, not guaranteed if you missed it, but more than likely, we will back test this as support as long as it's bullish, okay? And again, this probably isn't the best diagram. We should probably draw it more like, maybe more like, well, maybe more like that. All right, probably not the best diagram, but these things happen on a live stream. You know, you live stream long enough, and then shit shows up on your screen that you didn't intend. So the point of what I was trying to say originally is once we break 3.3 cents to 3.8 cents, it's very common to backtest and form a support, right? Guys, I speak to this stuff all the time. Now, once we break 3.3 at 3.8 cents, what are some other areas of price confluence we can look for? And by the way, drop me a comment, drop me a like as well, but drop me a comment. One of the things I'm really curious about for my viewership is you're welcome, Danny. I appreciate that you appreciate the video content. Thank you very much. Um, One of the things I'd like to, just so I can know my audience a little bit more, when you guys ask me to chart this stuff, is it because you just want to know my opinion? Or are you also a technical analyst? You have some education behind you and you sort of have your view of things and you want me to help to validate that view? Or do you value other technicians and you're validating my thought process against theirs? I'd be curious to hear what you guys think on that. Where you're at. I just want to know the audience a little bit more. So there looks to be another area of resistance right around 4.5 cents. All right. So here's what I would be concerned with on XDC, and then we'll take a look at the price indicators, which I don't think we looked at yet. Let's clear out between 3.3 to 3.8 cents. Once we clear it, 4.5 cents. When we get above and we stay above 4.5 cents, around 4.5 cents, get back to me and we can rechart this. Until we start getting above those levels, no point in looking at the chart. Now, from a price indicator standpoint on the weekly, MACD is picking up momentum. Look at the histogram. It's fading off a little, but this is our trigger line. This is 0 right here, okay? So we just need this blue line to stay above the orange and get above here. And the RSI, to be honest with you, the RSI is slightly oversold still, and neutral to but more on the oversold side. So to me, again, similar comments to Adam. If I was someone who was looking to accumulate a position in this, could we go lower from here? Yeah, maybe we go 5 or 10 or 15% lower. But all that's going on right now is accumulation. This price is this to me just spells accumulation to me. There's without question. Without question, this spells accumulation. Okay, this thing is just chippy choppy around until we move higher. So I view it as an opportunity to get in. I think that's going to be the last one. Hey, DFB, by the way, question on H bar, which I appreciate all the H bar variants. I'm actually going to be putting out an updated video on H bar relatively soon. So there are certain projects on purpose I'm not charting out, such as Harmony One, H bar, and Digibyte, because at some point I'm going to be putting out updated videos. So more to come on that. So let's see if we've got anything else here. I'm about to sign out, guys. So DFB, if you're, by the way, before I get that updated video out on HBAR, give me a follow on Twitter if you're not, because if you actually search my name and you search HBAR, you'll see I have a couple different tweets out there that speak to what's going on in my expectations. I spoke to an orange box that should sound familiar. We're right in that orange box. So, and we're sitting literally. We've bounced off and we're holding consolidation within an area of prior resistance, which is now support I've spoken to. So, we're nothing unexpected with H4. It's acting very healthy, very good. See if we got anything else here. Take a look at Ricky's comment. Ricky, I appreciate your comment, what you're saying on TA knowledge there. That's sort of what I'm looking on uh, from the audience, from the audience. Okay, I'm just kind of curious to understand, how many of you guys understand TA, what you do with my technical analysis. If you bounce it off other people, because I'll tell you what, before we close things out here, and again, Kevin, good to see you, brother. Um, Before we close things out here, and it's good to see everyone. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that bell icon for notifications. And thank you for everybody who has been very consistent in supporting me. Steady, I have not gotten to your question. I'm not going to be able to get it to it today, but I have a lot of time this week. So who the hell knows? Maybe I'll do another bonus live stream tomorrow. You never know. I'll go back to this video and read the comments. But what I wanted to say is, and I've shared this on this channel before, and I've had conversations with people about this. Every person on YouTube, in some senses, is fighting for your attention. Everybody has thumbnails out there with color and to try to grab your attention. And here's what I would say to you. At the end of the day, my hope for you is that you come to the channel and you find value in the content that I provide to you. And it really is meaningful and it seems logical in nature, right? But I also hope that I'm not the only person who you're listening to for technical analysis. There should be other value added technicians whose opinions you like to use as well, right? So there are other, for example, there are other technical analysts whose opinions I value, and I sort of I want to know where they're coming from. I want to understand their viewpoint and how much does my viewpoint differ or is similar in nature and why. You know, it challenges your thought process to do that. So make sure that even though you're subscribed to this channel, and I very much appreciate it, um, make sure you have other value added technicians in the space who you value as well, right? You shouldn't just rely on one technician. Um, nope, sorry. When I turn my head, yeah, this setup is not the best. I need to get my HyperX or whatever the hell it's called, Hyper Quad X or whatever the hell it is called microphone back because the microphone on the laptop is not the best. All right, guys, I'm going to sign out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know this was very random. Just decided to do this last minute. So, um, if you appreciated the live stream, make sure to share it with at least one person. Hit the like button. Drop me a comment here if I haven't gotten to any TA questions. I see there's one from Steady that I need to get to next time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. All right. Everyone take care of yourselves, spread awareness, and carry the education forward, guys. Take care.